All right, everyone. So today's topic is 6-month update on the Gyeon Syncro Evo in my dad's car. I'm going to be doing a chemical decontamination wash just to show you the performance after 6 months. Now, I haven't topped it since March. My dad's been washing this since he's retired. He just, to stay busy. He's washed it the last few times since April and June, or I should say April, May. And he uses the Adams car shampoo because he's so used to seeing this and using this. So again, it's perfectly fine to use this as a maintenance wash. So he's been using that. For today, I'm going to be doing a decontamination wash where I'm going to use Lift, let that set up on the paint, rinse that off, and come back with Gloss Shop Clarify, which this is very similar to Carpro Reset in terms of the way you use it. And then I'm going to touch it up with an iron remover to see if we have any decontamination. Probably agitate that with a towel sitting on the surface there. And then we're going to rinse everything off, and then we're going to top it off with a different topper, and we're going to go into an in-depth video of slick and slide. So let me get to the initial rinse, and then we'll foam it with Lift, let that set up, and then again we'll come with Gloss Shop Clarify, and then iron remover, rinse everything off, top it off, and we're going to do an in-depth video of these two products. All right, so stay tuned for that and be right back. All right, so I've had Lift sitting on the paint here. We get this foam gun out of the way here. So the Lift's been sitting on here. I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off, and we'll check out the initial hydrophobics of the coating. So you can see the beading on there. Again, we don't know if that's the topper from 2 or 3 months ago, whatever, the last time I used it back in February. So these are the pillars I was talking about where there's degradations of coating failure. It just didn't bond to that material. You can clearly see it. The hydrophobics are gone. Same here. So once you get through all the pollen and stuff that's on there, with Lift taking some of that away, the coating looks really good. So I'm going to try a different wash method here that I think you guys will appreciate here. It's the multiple mitt method here. So I got multiple mitts in here. So at this point, we can say we've cleaned the surface to the point where it's like 80% clean or 90%. And so now when we take our bucket wash, we're not grinding dirt into the panel, because most of it is completely gone. If you wanted to, you could foam again at this point. I'm just going to go over it with the same mitt I just finished washing here. So again, Gloss Shop Clarify is not going to be the most sudsy shampoo here. And so once you're done, boom, done. Throw it in there. So I'm gonna wash this entire door here with one side of the mitt. I'm gonna stop on the belt line. And before I go to the other side, I'm going to wash this side of the glass. Wash the wiper. Flip this over. And we're going to stop there. Done with that mitt. So you get the idea of what I'm doing here with the mitt. We're going to repeat the same process. I'm going to get out of the sun here. Repeat the process all the way around with the other mitts in the bucket, and then the lower portion I'll save for the last mitt, and I'll just clean the lower rocker panel. So that's pretty much it. Let me just go and finish that, come back and I'll show you the what the hydrophobics look like after this. Okay, so now we're done with the contact wash. Again, multiple mitts. They're all, the other ones are in the thing there. That last one here, the bone sponge, using the bottom of the rocker panels, and it wasn't too dirty. And you can see the hydrophobics of the coating look very good. And the 3 sections here where we have coatings, different coatings here, doing it just fine. But overall the coating's just doing so far so good. 6 months in. So that's Gyeon Syncro, folks. 6 months in, holding up extremely well. If you want to top it every wash, by all means do so. It's completely up to you. It's completely up to you if you want to top it every so often. I'm going to just go ahead and sheet rinse this and then use the iron remover. The Adams coatings holding up fairly well on the glass. Yeah, I think I'm still seeing the performance of the detail spray, that graphene detail spray on there, but as far as the coating, it's doing just fine. 6 months in, Gyeon Syncro is doing its thing. So good stuff. I'm going to just go ahead and spray the iron remover on here. Let that soak for a few, and then probably I'm not even going to agitate it. I'm just going to spray it on there and call this good. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'll show you the way I'm going to just do that. If I remember where I put my iron remover. Where's the spray? So just spray it on here. I normally don't like to spray it this wet. because there's so much water in here and it kind of dilutes the product even further. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to agitate it with a wet towel. So this is it, folks. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this, and then I'm gonna get a damp towel. Actually, yeah, damp towel, and just go over this on the paint. And then this is the glass parenting iron remover. Again, this one doesn't really smell like the other ones. It's got that licorice scent to it, and it's not as strong as some of these other ones. So, you know, it's got its pluses and minuses like every other product. So that's it. I'm just gonna let this sit for a couple minutes. I'm gonna get a towel just to kind of lightly agitate it, and then that's pretty much it for this process. And then I'll come back and I'll show you the drying aid portion. But that's primarily it. We'll just let the glass parenting do its thing. You can see there's some slight purpling, you know, so the iron remover is attacking ferrous metal that's in there. Again, these cars sit outside 24/7, so you got to keep that in mind. So I'm just going to go ahead and agitate this a bit, come back, rinse it off, and then we're going to call this good. So let me just do that, and then maybe I'll show you the final rinse of that. But it shouldn't change from what we already saw prior to this step here. So let me just go ahead and do that. We'll come back, final thoughts on Gyeon Syncro as a whole, how it's doing and holding up for the last 6 months. All right, so stay tuned for the final thoughts. And okay, so I agitated it with a damp towel, and you can see that there's some iron, slight ferrous metal on here, so it's not too bad. And now I'm going to just go ahead and rinse this off, and we'll check out the final hydrophobics of the coating. So that's it. I mean, so now your hydrophobic should be very good. I mean, the beading on Mo's Evo looks really good. It's not as tight as, you know, like a Sequartz UK or something like that, but it's good. I mean, just look at this. They say it's 105. In some instances it looks better than 105. Like here it looks better than 105, all these little beads in here, but so far so good. You can actually just check the hydrophobics of this. And that's pretty darn good. So overall good results thus far for Syncro. I don't see any degradation for Skin Evo. So let me just finish drying this off, and then we'll come back to the drying aid process. And I'm going to sheet rinse this before I dry it off. So I just want to kind of just go over this, show you quick hydrophobics. We'll get to the drying aid portion. Hopefully have enough daylight. And yeah, stay tuned for final thoughts. Thanks for watching. I want to show you the sheet rinse technique, which you guys have seen many times. So this has actually this is the final rinse of the car here. And you can see I'm drying most of the car with water. And so if you have a good form of protection, like this Gyeon Syncro Evo here, this is actually Mo's right here, just on this door. I've dried most of that surface with water. Here's Syncro. Actually, let me get this mirror first. You can see Gyeon Syncro sheeting at a real good rate. Nice. So that's pretty much it. I'll come back with the drying aid. Actually, I'm going to dry this off with the Ego, and then we'll come back with the drying aid. But I just want to show you the sheet rinse before I give you final thoughts on Gyeon Syncro. Alright, so again, thanks for watching. Alright, welcome back everyone. So unfortunately I lost daylight, so I can't show you what the vehicle looks like after a decon. So 6 months in with Gyeon Syncro Evo, and I'm happy to say that the performance is doing very well. By this time, with the previous version, I was already starting to see issues with the top coat of skin, where it's already starting to lose its hydrophobic performance. So far, so good with the new version of Evo. Kudos to Gyeon for getting this right. You're going to sacrifice slickness with the new version, but you're going to gain, so far, at least what I'm seeing, better performance overall, durability as the kit. So in the video, I think I mentioned that it had a 105 contact angle. I take that back. 105 contact angles for Mo's. I don't know what Skin is, probably closer to like 115, I believe. So that's where we've seen the performance of Skin as the top coat. So we see that during the decon wash, it's doing just fine. So I use Lift to soak the car, as a snow foam pre-wash. Let that sit on the paint for a couple minutes. Rinse that off. Then I did a contact wash with Clarify, which is a fantastic shampoo. Like CarPro Reset, I used multiple wash mitts this time just to show you a different wash method, so you don't have to go back to the traditional bucket wash where you're putting your mitt from the wash to the rinse back to the wash. This way I just did multiple mitts, and you put the mitt in your empty bucket once you're done using both sides. Then I followed up with an iron remover. This is the Glassparency one, and then I agitated on the surface. Not too much ferrous metal material on the painted surface. So thus far, again, 6 months in, the coating's performing just fine. The coating has not been topped since March. So in April and May, they had received no toppers. So I don't know the durability of this product here. I suspect it's like 4 weeks, similar to CarPro Elixir. My dad's been washing the car, and he doesn't use drying aids. He just dries off the car. And at this point, I don't care if he's marring the paint, because I'm only testing this coating for a year, and at a year, if it's performing just fine, I will go ahead and recommend it as a better alternative to the previous version for somebody who's looking to try a Gyeon coating. So I really don't care if he's marring the surface, because this was an unexpected test, and I want to thank Nathan for sending this out to me back in December or November of 2021. So and as we're watching with the Adams, I did this with a decon, and then I topped it off with Adams Slick and Slide for like 90% of the vehicle. The other part I did OG Drynaid, because we're going to test these two and compare them. Slick and Slide is perfectly compatible with waxes, sealants, and coatings. Perfectly fine, so we'll use that. I don't know what the durability is. This could be a week, could be 2 weeks. I really don't know. I can tell by the slickness of the paint. Once it degrades, then I can say, okay, it lasted X amount of weeks on there. So that was a decon process. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.